Prenup.
A prenup, ladies and gentlemen. What it can do, save you millions of dollars.
This right here, fellas, is the reason why you need a prenup. Kevin Costner is, I guess, the prime example. You're gonna be a nasty bitch. Well, all right, I'm gonna shove this shit down your throat.
Remember this? It just shows that once it gets ugly, they're gonna go after blood. They're talking shit about her that she spends how much? Like 140 grand a month in like plastic surgery and all this other bullshit. You know what, bitch? I'm giving you less.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try to help you out anymore because of this bullshit that you're doing.
This right here, fellas, is the reason why you need a prenup. Kevin Costner is, I guess, the prime example.
Yes. So Kevin Costner, I guess his wife, Christine, divorced him back in, what is it that she filed in April, February?
May 1st.
May,
after
okay.
18 years.
18 years pass, files for divorce. And it's funny because Kevin Costner, if I got my sources correct, he was married before, was divorced before, and he ended up having to have, part of the settlement was $80 million.
$80 million, and I think like a restaurant or something.
Yeah, so that was forever ago.
2 decades.
Almost 2 decades.
Yeah,
married again, and now Christine in this divorce is only entitled to $1 million as per
prenup.
A prenup, ladies and gentlemen. What it can do, save you millions of dollars.
City boys up.
City boys up, I guess. But yeah, it turns out, I guess they've been going through some problems, and I guess one thing that stood out the most about this topic was that they filed for divorce. She was supposed to leave the house, yet she refuses.
Yeah, she had 30 days to vacant the home, which is a beautiful $100 million home.
Yeah, right. I mean, this guy is what is that? He's
big time, huge,
$400 million net worth. I mean, a huge star when it comes to Yellowstone, which we don't know what's going on with that. We're not really in the entertainment pop culture, but this guy, he hit it big with Yellowstone. It's been one of the greatest series that it's ever been on television streaming everywhere. And so this guy is worth some money, and she's only entitled to $1 million, and she refuses to leave his house. So that's kind of how I hopped onto this.
For sure. And what struck me is that she signed the prenup 18 years ago. And so I guess she's now saying, well, shit, he's worth a lot more than what he was 18 years ago. So let me kind of renegotiate a deal. But it's like, well, you signed. This is what you signed, right? And he worked very hard to amass the money that he has, right? So it's like, well, now you're trying to kind of take more than, and we're gonna go over it now, but he's willing to give a lot,
right? So, from my understanding, child support seems like something that's necessary in order to raise and support the children. Right? And then I guess the judge decides what is an adequate amount based on incomes.
Yeah,
right. And it sounds like, as per law, there is a cap.
Correct.
What is that?
So based on his income in 2022, the cap would be around $152,000 per month.
So that is the cap that he's supposed to pay.
That he's supposed to pay in the state.
And if I'm not mistaken, I was watching a video a little while ago that he was trying to actually put it down to like about $68,000, I think is what he had offered. And he says, not only am I going to pay you $68,000 a month. Now think about it. $68,000. I don't even make that in a freaking year. And this lady's going to make that in a month. Now, given obviously expenses and maybe lifestyles were elevated, she probably didn't have to work, XYZ. But not only that, he's also saying that he's going to also cover everything for the children when it comes to tuition, health, everything.
Education,
everything.
Yeah.
So $70,000. I mean, we're talking about, what is that? 700, 840, 900,000, almost $1 million a year. But she wants more.
She's asking for, she says, the amount needed to maintain the children's current lifestyle is $332,000 a month.
So it brings the question.
She's asking, it's like, dude.
But is that how much is necessary to maintain children's current lifestyle?
I think that number is highly inflated, dude.
That's 3.6 over $3.5 million.
What can you
3.5
possibly do with all that kind of money? And I get it. They live in a different world. I understand that. But this is what I'm thinking. You're married to this guy. He's the reason why you have this lifestyle. Now you're no longer married to him. Yes, you have children, 3 kids that are in their teens, and you guys will split. From what I read, is 50-50 custody. So it's like you guys are no longer together. You're not going to have the same lifestyle that you did with him for 18 years when you were with him. Kind of that's That's how it is.
I even think of just the people that are dating for so long. I mean, if once you break up, let's say that, the guy, he had money, or vice versa, the woman had money and she was taking you around and all these things.
Yeah.
You guys break up. I mean,
Tough shit.
Are you entitled to shit? I mean, sure. I mean, in this case, they're married, a long time. They have children. She's going to be getting support.
Yeah.
70 grand is what he was trying to get. As per law, 150,000 per month.
Yeah. And let me read this to you. And this is what he said. He said he will also give her $200,000 towards a down payment on a new home and cover the costs of the mortgage, property tax, and insurance for a year. This is also part of the prenup. Additionally, he'll contribute $30,000 as part of his child support obligation to help her secure a rental and advance her $10,000 for moving costs. So this is like a whole package. He's like, listen, this is not working out. We have 3 kids together. I'll set you up nicely.
Here's the deal.
This is what is happening. This is what we signed almost 2 decades ago. And this is the reality, right? And, dude, she's not just getting kicked out into the street. This is serious money.
Here's kind of what I see here. And this is why I think everybody should get a prenup. It's a shame because I'm sure that when she first signed the prenup, she probably thought, you know what? I want to be protected. I'm sure he said, I want to make sure this is a fair deal.
Yeah.
Guy's worth shit ton of money now. But it's just a shame because then when people get divorced, if you do come up with more money, it just shows that once it gets ugly, they're going to go after blood. Yeah. Right? Because she was okay when they first signed, when they were probably in love. They probably had legal counsel guiding them about the process. Okay, this is a good prenup. Look, you're going to be protected. Anything were to happen after you guys get divorced, sounds like a pretty good deal. But probably got ugly along the way, issues along with the marriage. Now they're both fucking hating each other. In fact, he's there talking shit about her that she spends how much? Like 140 grand a month in like plastic surgery and all this other bullshit. I don't know how true that is. I've asked people, about that, and she doesn't look like she really has that much. But then again, celebrities, who knows? Probably have some other technique or whatever.
Shit you wouldn't even know about.
But point is, so this just seems a little bit extreme, I would say. But it goes to show that once you do come up with money and people, you see their ugly side, they're not going to be okay with what happened. They're going to go after as much as they can.
Yeah, for sure. And she says,
sign a prenup, get a prenup.
Dude, it's so important. I feel like for both parties, right? Because at the end of the day, a marriage it's a legal agreement, right? With the government. And so you have to protect yourself, your assets and everything. And no one ever says, "Oh, we're going to get a divorce." Obviously, that's no one's dream. But guess what? 50% of all the marriages end up in divorce. Yeah. You got to be realistic, especially after decades, things happen. Yeah. And Kevin Costner is the prime example. This is his second divorce, and I think after his first one, when he had to dish out $80 million, he was like, fuck, I'm not letting this shit happen again.
Exactly. I think lesson learned. And again, they say you have 2 options. You either sign a prenup between you and your partner, or you let the government decide with a prenup that they already have written. Right? Yeah. So it's like, imagine the situation, because they could have probably, and who knows, they can have a postnuptial and they can probably renegotiate if they chose to. But he's probably the same on her side. So the way that she's there trying to go for more, he's like, you know what, bitch? I'm giving you less. Yeah. I'm not even going to try to help you out anymore because of this bullshit that you're doing. So it got so ugly that now there's no even form of communication amongst them to even really get a proper settlement. Because, I mean, it's kind of true. Imagine, she's been with him for so long. As he grew his net worth, she's almost an attachment to him. Did she have any maybe direct contribution to it? Probably not, but raising the children, taking care of the house, massive house that it is.
Dude, you want to tell me she took care of the house, dude?
Dude, whatever. Point is, dude, who knows if she was a bad wife? I mean, it was 18 years that they were together. Maybe they did have a lot of problems. I don't know. But I get it. To a certain degree, he could also be like, you know what? I'm worth an ass ton of money. It's kind of unfair for what we signed 18 years ago, because back then, I wasn't worth an ass ton. I was worth a wee bit. Ton of money.
Also, $1 million 18 years ago was a lot of more money than it is today.
A lot more money back then due to inflation. Thank you to our current. Well, I'm not gonna get into it. But point is, so it's almost like, dude, what the fuck is $1 million these days? It's nothing, So I can kind of see how maybe if they was better, they could have been like, you know what, I'll give you. Let's renegotiate. I'll hook you up, because again, to your point, $1 million isn't that much anymore these days.
But it's not just $1 million. It's I think after everything, it's 1.4 plus monthly, child support for the next, I think, at least 8 years or something like that.
Here's my thing.
So it's like, fuck, it's a lot of money.
If they were to get married today, right, everything is happy, bells and whistles, they're ecstatic, and they say, okay, let's sign a prenup right now.
Yeah.
do you think that it would be the same terms as it was 18 years ago?
Of course not.
And I guess that's my argument. And that's why I'm a little understanding of her part, because maybe she's like, listen, as per inflation, let's adjust these numbers as
Then
well.
you should have written that into the contract.
I understand, but that's why.
Yeah.
So what's the point? When you have a prenup between you and your partner, you're agreeing to the terms that you set instead of the government, because he could have gotten truly fucked if there was no prenup.
But yeah, he learned his lesson.
But a prenup on her side as well, she could have also probably reworked it a little bit better with him and said, hey, this isn't enough for me. So they could have both been on the same page. Obviously, fast forward to today, doesn't seem like they're on the same page anymore. Clearly, it's not enough. But that's why you get a prenup.
You do
to protect yourself. Because if not, honestly, look, I get it. Should she have gotten a little bit more? Maybe, due to inflation. I mean, it kind of does make sense. Dude, 20 years ago,
yes, dude, but that's what an agreement is.
I understand. So, but I get it. Like, hey, let's prorate. This guy's huge. If I was the guy, well, obviously, probably not, because he's telling him to go fuck off. But if I was the guy, I'd probably be like, you know what? Based on the clause, it makes sense. If I'm growing my career and it's worth more and I can afford more, then fine. There's some sort of clause that'll entitle you to a little bit more due to the change of inflation. I think that's fair. But, it seems like she's just a bitch. She just wants more.
She signed an agreement. It says that she had to vacant the home within 30 days, which she didn't do. Right?
I know. I agree.
So the judge was like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here."
I understand.
You're out of there. So I feel like
she agreed. No, I get it.
Yeah. So I feel like how she handles the divorce is gonna dictate a lot of the outcome. I'm sure this guy's not gonna be like, "Get the fuck out of here. I'm not giving you more." If she would have approach the situation the right way,
I agree.
Probably get more than
right. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, but if you're gonna be a nasty bitch, well, all right, I'm gonna shove this shit down your throat.
Remember this little paper that you signed?
I'll shove it down your throat.
I get it.
And so, yeah. Obviously, divorces are messy. No one ever wants to go through it, which makes it even more of a point to have a backup plan, to have something that hopefully no one has to use, right? But a lot of people wish they would,
And before anybody wants to pull the race card and then be like, oh, that's fucked up because it's worth more. Listen, I get it. I kind of get your side, but she signed. You can't do anything about it. If it was the other way around, I mean, we would also be fighting for it too. Yet it's not. It's now a woman she's trying to get for half. It was the other way where the woman was the one. Well, we talked about Kiki Palmer and the baby daddy and the whole situation. Exactly. If they were married and he's a nobody and they get divorced, shit. If it was the other way around, I don't think all these women would be like, yeah, he should get more. Instead, what do they say? He's a bum. She's the one that pays her name's on them.
He shouldn't get anything.
You see what I mean? How it changes?
That's
why. You people should go fuck off, first of all. But this is what's fair. This is what's legal. This is what's signed. This is what we got to stick to.
For sure. How would you approach, one last thing. How would you approach the situation if you and your partner want to get married and they don't want to sign a prenup?
It's already been discussed.
This is something that in your personal life is something.
Yeah, because I mean, imagine we have this podcast, so as we talk about topics and stuff, and even in passing conversations.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. And I've told her, I've been like, straight up, like, of course we're gonna get a prenup. And at first, she was like, oh, what the fuck? Because of the stigma behind it, like, this fucking shit. Like the video then she have a video of I told her to sign the prenup, and she's like,
fucking dying.
So it's like I told them, I'm like, listen, like this is something to protect ourselves, so nobody gets fucked over in the long run. I mean, this is something that gets discussed, and we agree upon, and you and me, instead of letting the government decide. Because if you and I are on the same page of what's owed and what's fair, why let somebody else dictate that and then have to fight in order to get that when we've already agreed? Now, clearly, there's a possibility of fighting even still after you agree.
Sure.
I think it got very ugly. But, yeah, no, I've been saying that.
I think a lot of times divorces, they favorite women. So that's why women don't want to sign a prenup, because they know they end up coming out with a lot more money than the guys, per se. Now, one thing I will say before we end up, it's if you're a man and you're married or you have a long-term partner, and you ask her to stay at home and raise your children and take care of the house and whatever, now she's losing out on an opportunity to make money, to build her career. And then after years and years, you guys break up, I would think, yes, she is entitled to something, right? Because now she didn't work for 5, 10, 15 years, who knows how long, time that she could build her career.
No talent,
what is she going to do?
Experience.
Which is why these laws were put in place decades ago, because women couldn't work. Women didn't have anything after divorce. They were left in shambles. So that's why these laws are in place. And Now, fast forward to 2023, we have to adapt to the changes, and so women are more than perfectly capable to work on their own and whatever. But if you, as a guy, ask your partner, your woman, to stay home, just know that if there's a divorce down the road, she's entitled to something, dude. You ask her to stay home, you know. Yeah. So this is one little cherry that I wanted to add to the top, but yeah.
Well, but that's why I think it's important, because who's to say that maybe you didn't hear about the situation where this guy, he was like a soccer player. He was worth, I don't know how many millions. He's married to some chick, but he put everything under his mom's name. And they got divorced, and then she's like wanted something, and he's like, I ain't got shit. My mom's. So this is why a prenup would have helped her, probably, because then it probably would have said, hey, entitled to something.
But if the assets aren't under his name, then entitled to what? He doesn't legally own anything.
True, no, but so then how do you get to this, for example, prenup that says, hey, you're entitled to $1 million? Does it say, no, you're entitled to 1.7% of his net assets? No, I'm sure that there's some sort of financial clause that says there, which she could have said, yeah, he owes you this much money.
Right, but if the money is under his, if he has the income, if he has the taxes, they check your bank account, they check everything. If you don't have money, it doesn't matter how much you're supposed to pay them. But, hey, listen, I only have $50,000 in the bank. I can't.
True,
pay
but
this.
You can also, yeah, but then legally you could probably get some sort of garnishments or payment plan, because think about it, if he's gonna be receiving some sort of salary to his name for him playing, how are you then not gonna say, okay, well, a portion of those wages are gonna go to your partner?
Good question. We got to bring on
we need Bill Brady again.
Bill Brady, come back on. That's a good question, but yeah. So I guess protect yourself as best as you can.
Yes,
with the circumstances that you have.
If anyone wants to approach you, especially women, if you guys are still like oh my god, they want to approach with a prenup, what the fuck? Accept it for what it is and just get an attorney, dude. Have someone review it. And hey, we have good buddies of legal counsel over at Corona Law Firm. Yeah. I don't really give them enough shout out, but yo, they've hooked us up. Check your fucking email, okay? Cease and desist my ass, okay? We won every fucking time. We did. Point is, shout out Corona Law Firm. If you guys ever need any legal advice, yo, fucking, we'll put the information right down here. Hit them up if you ever get a prenup sent to you, and make sure you read it. Protect yourself. And
tell them who sent you.
Tell them who sent you. Coffee Breakup for no percentage on.
No, on legal advice.
I gotta talk to my boy Ricky.
Yeah, for sure.
But seriously though, if you do get approached with some sort of prenup conversation, listen, this is an opportunity to really understand what's owed to you in case anything happens, okay? So instead of you leaving it up to a situation that the government is going to make the choice for you, get to review it. Get someone to legally, make sure that it's a decision that's not only going to protect you, and I'm talking to you women, make sure that something on the back end is for you, but also for men, make sure you protect yourself so then you don't get those sharks that are trying to steal from you in the back end.
Oof, yes, I love it. I think that's a good way to close out.
And with that being said, ladies,
thank you guys.
Sign your prenups. Until next time. Peace.
Bye.